Eddington is the story of a sheriff who wants to be mayor. The setting is a tiny town in New Mexico, a lonely dot in the American desert. It's like a test chamber where all the people are particles, ricocheting in different directions. When they hit each other, they careen in new directions, and that creates this new logic that comes to possess each of them. It leads them all into ever more intense beliefs and convictions, and that leads to violence because there's no common ground to stand on. It is a complicated place. The filmmaker wanted to make an excellent film about the Southwest because it's a place they're familiar with. The filmmaker is from New Mexico. They spent their adolescence there. Their parents still live there. It's a place they have strong feelings about. While writing the film, the filmmaker drove around New Mexico, visiting small towns and pueblos and meeting with sheriffs, police, public officials, and mayors. They interviewed many people, and many of the film's characters are based on them. So much of the film was shot in Truth or Consequences. This was the filmmaker's first time working with Elliot Hostetter, who was the production designer. Hostetter went out there long before pre-production even started, soaking in the environment. Truth or Consequences was the last place Hostetter came. It has a particular geography that works really well for the town. It's larger than Eddington is supposed to be, but the older, historic part of the town is really separated from the rest, so it feels like a small town. The hill and the water tower were such a massive part of it, and also just the light, and there's something extraordinary here. The day the actor got the part was when they saw the tumbleweed rolling through. They had to look around to confirm it was real, literally. Someone did that on purpose. There was a guy with a fan blowing it to make them feel like they were in a Western. When the actor was doing press a long time ago, they were asked about doing a Western with Airy. They said it's not a Western. Then the script said, a COVID Western, on the page. It really is a Western. There was really the kind of tension and violence in the sort of Western way. Western is an exciting genre. It's the national genre, Westerns. There's so much about forging new societies and the heroic myth of America, the beautiful dream of it, and the building of something. It feels like society is living through the collapse of the system that has been built over the last 250 years. The filmmaker wanted the film to reflect this new atmosphere, this new environment where everything is so fractured, and to almost make a film that's sort of schizophrenic. It feels like it's about how humiliating it is to live as if one's in a Western. It's about the death of that trope. The character has seen all of those films. He's living in the West. He's a lawman. He loves his community, loves his wife. He's a man of integrity and action. The character is really seeking love. It's ironic because when he first gets this kind of outside acknowledgement, it's from a character named Fred. He essentially aligns himself with Fred by removing his mask in the store. This is a transformative moment. It's like a Facebook ping, where Fred writes, "There's one last hero left." That's the kind of catalyst for him. It's ironic because it's what starts this division in the town. The director hasn't seen this actor do anything like this. Joe is so vulnerable, dopey, and credulous. The character is just alive. That's something this actor is really able to do, create a real, vivid, complete person. When the actor read the script, they found themselves laughing out loud. When the director and the actor were working through it, they were dying of laughter. But the actor kept saying, "Do not let me laugh at any of this when we're actually shooting." That was just what was most important, not to distance oneself from the character. To them, it's not funny. It's serious. During COVID, there was a period when people thought they didn't have the self-awareness to realize how absurd they were in the summer of 2020. The director isn't too precious with this stuff. It's an action scene. So it's just about energy. When the director gave the script to Joaquin, he got very annoyed at all the physical things he was going to have to do. The director assured them that he wasn't going to do them. That was the case with Bo, too. He said, "This time I'm not going to do it." And then he ended up doing it all. He throws himself into what he's doing. He starts running, then catches a bit too much momentum, and falls. In this film, there were many very intense physical demands on him. That image bolsters everything he thinks of himself, which is informed by all those stories he's been told. The actor is showing around the sheriff's office in Eddington. This is where the magic happens. This is where the actor has been basically living for the past few weeks, trying to get used to how a deputy works. They very rarely have their feet up, but the actor knows a couple of guys who do. The actor's character is a sharpshooter, but that's Joe's record. He got all the headshots. He's too cold. But the actor claims to be actually better than Joaquin in real life. Those are slogans that Guy has done the majority of, to be honest. This one is the actor's favorite one because the mayor is called Ted Garcia, and Garcia just made them laugh. The actor is getting some work done, but where is their harmonica? Props just be moving stuff? This is wild. After like 2 weeks, the actor thinks they're starting to get this. And then Pedro showed up, and there was this whole new energy. The actor forgot he was in the movie because they had just entered the tunnel. They don't know all of the director's films, but they know they texted about this. He was doing something they'd never seen him do before, which helped them discover a different aspect of their character. Emma and Austin showed up once Pedro left. and then the actor was discovering what their home life was like. It's preposterous that the movie continued without the actor. The director and Louise had an interesting relationship for a long time, so viewers are seeing a kind of devolution. They spent a long time scouting for this house. What made this house Joe's house, and what was so particular to the film, was its smallness. The character delivers the final sermon in his beautiful white suit, kind of like the apostle. It was on fire. It's arrogant. It's the arrogance of self-pity bolstered by the illusion that one is the only victim. It keeps one from being an agent of actual change. Collective lives are collective and can just as easily unite and rise to fight. In the end, the character is pregnant, and throughout this entire movement with Vernon has new hair and is covered in tattoos. It's terrifying but very sweet too. Like everything in this movie, one could see it one way or the other. One person and Ari are old friends, and they wanted to come out and watch him shoot a film. They were immediately enlisted to play a deranged cult member. They're a cartoonist. That's their actual job, not a full-time extra. Chicken fat was a term used in the early issues of Mad Magazine to describe this density of detail, where one can look at every square inch of a frame and find a joke or something. It's a very generous form of art, and Ari has adopted that as his own. They're on day 43, the second day of protests. There are about 100 background extras, about 55 young protesters, 4 Antifa, and 1 Proud Boy. There are 30 townspeople, 2 camera ops, and 1 MAGA guy. It was super interesting to work with Ari and the props team to ensure authenticity in the different characters he created, their political development, and their political orientation. What Anna, the protest coordinator, gave the production was such a big, helpful tool, being able to walk up to Anna and ask questions. Having that on set, knowing the legalities of protesting, was really helpful to have Anna here. The character gets a display weapon, which happens to be a 240 Bravo. For this scene alone, they got 4,000 rounds, and they're down to about 1/200. He cowboys his way out of here. After the gun jams, the director cuts. At the moment, the actor was taking it seriously. They were like, some people are trying to kill them, and they must defend themselves and defend this town. After falling, the character props themselves up, keeping their head and face down. For the next shot, the character should lower like that, and then blast it out. That's the real picture wrap. The actor is going to head home to Canada now? They were just reminded that they're one decision away from a completely different life. The actor had one of the hardest days already because Butterfly just learned something horrific, and they had to learn something horrific too. By the time they got to their hotel room, they were so depleted, so tired, so exhausted. They felt their cheek, and there were tears on it. This has never happened in their entire career, and it happened on this project. They're not complaining. They felt a little stronger. In the end, they thank Ari for the suffering. It just made them that much stronger as an artist. What's going on here? The actor is struggling. They got encouragement that they were doing well. Essentially, they're going to start with the car being blown apart. The crew is ready, and on the director's count, the explosion happens. The headlight's cool. The mirror coming off is cool. This thing is popping. There's some nice detail in there. That's good. If the film is about anything, it's really about a data center being built. There's this other crisis being incubated in a lab. All these stories in the film are more training data for this new thing that's coming. That's really the only thing that's happening. Ari has a deep talent for really scaring people. The director explains that the thing that's really insidious about this moment is that it's terrifying, dangerous, and catastrophic, and at the same time absurd, ridiculous, and impossible to take seriously. The film should be scary, upsetting, dramatic, funny, and stupid.